Hello, everybody. This is your favorite fluffy pony, Venomous Pie, the Pinkie Pie of this little group here. Welcome back to an episode of Bronimaniacs Discuss. It is good to be back after a long delay for various reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But yes, we are back in business. And we'll thought to be tackling more episodes of Season 8 before we move on to Season 9. And I have with me our Sunburst, Ball Toys.
Hold on, I'm still coming out of the grave. Hold on. Okay, here. Hi guys. I'm the Thauer of the group. Wait, what?
We also have our Dr. Hooves, Mr. Crimson.
Alon Z. Thank you.
We also have our Mod Pie, which is Little Looney.
Now, before we get started discussing the episode, it's time for every pony to take a friendship test. You have 60 minutes starting now.
And lastly, we have our Trixie, David.
I got locked out of the school. I can't take any tests.
Okay, ignore my last statement.
Alright, and the episode will be covering this evening on because it's nighttime at my end. The episode we'll be covering is Marks for Effort. But yeah, but those who need a refresher, which I'm pretty sure you already do, we go in a random order, and we'll be discussing one positive and then one negative for the episode before we go to our final thoughts. Yeah. So one person would do one positive, another person would do their positive, etc., etc. So that being said, up first shall be Looney.
Alright then, guess I'm kicking this off. So, I remember when this episode originally came out, my thoughts on Cozy Glow that her motivation seemed very, very unclear. Like, was she trying to frame the Cutie Mark Crusaders actually help them get into Twilight's friendship school? But, rewatching this episode post-season finale actually kind of changes the viewing experience. Now that we know for a fact that Cozy Glow was evil all along, it becomes clear that she wanted to gain access to Twilight's school, so she could more than likely learn everything there is to know about magic, and drain it from the question in the finale. But of course, those are spoilers.
So, what's your positive for this episode?
Well, let me continue.
Sorry.
I even used a few subtle facial expressions where Cozy Glow looked particularly sinister, not too off from what we saw in the finale. There's even a moment where Starlight herself calls attention to how Cozy intentionally throwing the test was devious. So nowadays, instead of feeling neutral towards this episode, I actually appreciate it much better than when it first aired.
That's interesting.
When the episode came out, it was just meh, but post-finale, completely different experience. It's kind of weird.
So, if you're finished, Looney, who do you pass it off to?
I know. I'll pass it over to Handbag Twilight.
I was about to say something terrible.
Now, let me get my notes ready here.
So, I guess you're up, David.
Okay, so this episode is a very highly enjoyable episode for me. I like how they executed the introduction to Cozy Glow. And just like Looney said a few minutes ago, it's really unsure of what her purpose is at first. And I think my positive for this episode is the fact that the friendship school is the core purpose of the episode, and that the Cutie Mark Crusaders, they want to attend, and they want to find out their best way of doing it. So I guess they take their helping towards the filly that we all know now as Cozy Glow, and they teach her about the elements, and it's a feel good episode with that in mind. So that's my positive.
All right. So who do you pass it off to?
I will pass it off to the Bat Pony.
So, as I said pre-stream, I'm coming into this 100% unprepared, thanks to the fact that I had a double shift at work today and had no time to take notes at all. So, I'm just going to be the filler person here, and I already forgot what I was. Damn it. That just further proves my point.
Yeah, if all else fails, just wing it.
I will say that when the episode first came out, I did notice that, like, while the Crusaders were testing Cozy Glow and whatever, some of her faces did look sinister, but then she felt sorry afterwards. So when the episode first came out, kind of threw me for a loop. Like, I didn't know which was to be trusted and which one was fake. And to be honest, looking back, it somehow still confuses me. Like, honestly, during her first episode, Cozy Glow was just a mixed bag.
Oh, that actually reminds me. There's one screenshot over here I would like to kind of point out.
Which one?
I'll put it over here in the picture.
Okay.
She look particularly devious.
I think I know what you're referring to.
This is going to take about 2,000 years to upload.
So, I guess if I'm really forced to put a positive on here, though, I guess Cozy Glow's fake answers when she, quote-unquote, failed the test.
Yeah, it should have been obvious that she was doing this intentionally, but I never thought that the show would get away with a yo mom joke.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's kind of an old joke that died in the early 2000s, so...
No, but I mean, I'm glad that it got hold for Pony, because it was just like that joke that just Twilight's just like her mom, like how she says it, you know.
So Twilight Velvet is the Princess of Friendship now?
Yes.
And give it a second to be connected.
Also, here's that screenshot I was talking about.
Yeah, I already saw it.
Oh yeah, that's
When Sweetie Belle was pointing to all the elements on the chart, he pointed to magic. Cozy Glow made a bit of a face here that looks kind of evil.
Yeah, I know that's what I was that's what I was referring
that's
to.
the face. Yeah, you can't tell what her.
Yeah.
And literally, the show is just gonna throw some hints in there of each character's point of view.
Yeah, and like in her later episodes, like it was hinted that, you know, hey, she's secretly a villain. But in her first episode, it was nothing but 100% confusion.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they left it kind of ambiguous that way.
Yeah, and that's what I like how they do these episodes, is that you're not quite sure, but you're kind of like, I want to call it out, but you want to wait until it's official, you know?
Yeah, so it's like first they hint at this, but then they hint at this. It's just like, which one do you believe?
Well, I think that's what the MLP staff does, is that they throw in little hints for you to keep guessing until the big reveal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was intentional.
Yeah, and that's what I like about the show. It just keeps you guessing until you're like, I don't know if I'm right or not.
If you remember back to the season premiere, it made it look like as if Chancellor Naysay was going to be the villain for this season, so it's kind of a red herring.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the Chancellor was supposed to be the main villain. and then I just got thrown for this whole loop about this cute little Darla Dimple type character, you know,
There's nothing cute about Dola Dimples, boy.
or Shirley Temple, or whatever you want to call her.
I don't think the Cozy Glow. I was reminded more of a Baby Doll from Batman the Animated Series.
Baby doll.
Excuse me while I go look up this character.
But in the meantime, Balto, are you all set?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, who do you pass it off to? Just either me or Crimson.
I guess you.
Oh, wow, she really does look like Cozy Glow.
Alright. Me then. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna get this out of the way. I'm not a big fan of this episode. It's not bad by any means. It was just kind of meh. But if I had to pick a positive, and there's actually a couple. But if I had to choose one, it would definitely have to be my favorite part of the episode, which is Starlight Glimmer as a whole.
Yeah.
That's devious. I mean, I'm listening.
You need a security blanket?
Shall we bring back the meme face?
I mean, in all seriousness, that entire scene between Starlight and Cozy Glow was definitely the best part about the episode.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I even caught myself giggling at a few moments during that part. But
I
yeah,
mean, yeah. It's good.
I just like how Starlight is. I just like how Starlight is in this episode. She was pretty much the only character that actually stayed in character throughout the entire episode.
I think this episode was one of the few season 8 reactions that got uploaded to my channel, and I think I just broke laughing when Starlight just went like, "That's devious." But...
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, Starlight Glimmer was actually great in this episode.
Oh yeah, she was only one of the things that prevented this episode from being a total failure for me.
Unlike Twilight, which I'll get into later.
And that leaves Crimson. Take it away, Time Turner.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Okay, let's see here.
Stay in your police box.
I believe the word you're looking for is tortoise.
Or TARDIS or toaster, I don't know.
Well, I may be a Doctor Who, but this Doctor Who doesn't have a TARDIS, so I travel in my own sense of style.
On a piece of paper?
I'm not going to comment on to that. Anyways.
Yeah, that's disconnected again.
Oof.
I think Twitch hates us tonight.
Yeah, though, it was my streaming service that hates me.
Or both. Probably
Because
both.
Because both times I streamed this week, I was relatively fine.
Maybe it's just because it's in the evening, maybe? I don't know.
Here's the thing, both of my streams happened during the evening.
Let's see what would be the big difference, but...
But
Anyways,
anyways, we should be coming back.
And now we're not even live. Me.
We should be coming back right about now. Go right ahead, Crimson.
Okay, let's see here.
Doesn't it still says offline.
Give it a moment.
just hang on, Lenny. We'll come back.
Please continue.
Alright. For my positive, I was a bit intrigued that the Kingdom Crusaders were wanting to, let's say, enrolled in the Friendship is Magic school. And I get where they're coming from, actually, because if I was in their position, I would actually go to a bear school where you can actually have fun and study at the same time and experience a lot of things. I did like the funny fact how Scootaloo was saying, like, our teacher, Mr. Lee, couldn't let us play buckball. Trust me, I tried.
We may be doing that at a con in the future, just saying.
Come and join us.
But yeah, more along the road of that, I like how they're still having their positive attitude and being so upbeat and ongoing. And they even went through the trouble to help out some Pony News that they just met now, who we quote-unquote have more information about her, where she kind of keeps up the cutie charm act. But with that said, I think that's all I got for that.
Alright, and since there isn't anybody else, we can now move on to our negatives. And we'll be starting with Crimson this time.
Okay, let's see. For my negative... Okay, what really bothered me so much was... Okay, it really aggravated me to the point where whenever the Cutemore Crusaders try to do something when they are not supposed to be doing something, they're just gonna do it anyway. And they want to attend to a school that their big sisters, such as Rarity and
Applejack
as well. And I guess we can count Rainbow Dash for being a big sister to Scootaloo too.
Pretty much official at this point, yeah.
Either that or a role model.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand them wanting to enroll into a better school.
But
if they want to participate in the friendship school, Twilight herself is the one who needs to give them a role or something.
Well, when I was watching the episode Crimson, I kind of got vibes of Twilight time.
Uh-huh.
Because remember when Twilight taught the Cutemore Crusaders about different things? Like, this is like way before she even started the school.
Yeah, 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, so 4 seasons ago, and now she's turning them down. Which kind of confused me, but I guess she had her reasons.
Yeah, she did, and having some help isn't a bad thing. But I think it's kind of like the feeling of how how adults say, like, they're kind of watching over young kids in the future, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Until they're ready to take responsibility fully.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a message to what Scootaloo and the rest of the Cutemore Crusaders need to learn. Yet, I know they want to help, but there's always saying helping others can lead you to trouble, too.
Yeah.
it is hard to distinguish the situation right off the bat.
Uh-huh.
So easy said than done.
But with that said, that's kind of my negative for that. But I'm not saying...
This.
Oh, we have our dream stage here.
Hey, Dream.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's alright.
So good.
And since I got finished with my negative, I'll pass it over to Dream Sage since we already got through for our positive, so feel free to go ahead.
You can start with your positive and then you can move on to your negative.
Okay. The biggest positive for me in Marks for Effort had to be the Cutemore Crusaders themselves. I liked that, there's usually a very typical thing in cartoons of conflict, you fail, you try again, you succeed. Sometimes we get episodes where they lose and you still learn something even better, and those are great. But, just overall in general, usually they have that kind of, try, fail, succeed. Here, it was like they tried, they failed, and then they tried again and failed again. And it was all due to Cozy Glow. And that's going to lead me into my negative, which really was just kind of the whole basis of the conflict, and just like, I knew it. Like, I knew it. Like, everybody just freaking knew it. Evil. Like, I am a tiny, miniature, fluffy flower garden pony. And even I'm going, anyone that cute is up to no good.
Yeah. Usually in animation, if some kid has the same hairstyle as Shirley Temple, don't trust them.
I think that kind of draws from, if you remember Cat Don't Dance, like Cozy Glow reminds me less of Shirley Temple and a lot more of Darla Dimple.
Yeah, we want to compare it to her.
But yeah, so just like Cozy's thing of like how bad did you have to be at the answers before you were getting tutored on it? So I don't know, it's just that was a little weird for me. But yeah, the Cutie Mark Crusaders themselves, how they were so persistent and they were actually really enjoyable in their efforts, was the biggest positive for me. And then out of negatives, it was Cozy Glow herself and how they had to go about helping her and how it messed up in the end. That I didn't like that part so much. I thought that was a little shoehorned, but yeah.
Alrighty, now it's my turn. Alright, for my negative. Oh boy. Well, I could go for one thing, but I'm kind of saving it for my conclusion. But for my negative, which one do I pick? I got 4 of them.
Oh goodness.
Okay. I kind of disagree about Dream Stage with the CNC being a positive, because I kind of felt that the motivation for doing all that effort kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't kind of established early on that this is how the son to feel about Julie's school. It just felt like it kind of came out of nowhere, and it felt like it just felt like it was just there for the sake of the plot.
Well, Vin, Twilight's Friendship School came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of stuff, and I'm not saying it's okay, but at this point, come on, the show's done it enough that it's kind of predictable to have some kind of episodes like that just in order to make the plot move forward. So you gotta kind of give them a little leeway at this point. I mean, that hasn't changed so far. It's not gonna change in season 9. I doubt it's gonna change in Generation 5. But
I mean, my thing about this whole Friendship School versus Cheerleading School is that the Cutie Mark Crusaders weren't even around when Twilight said it. Like they weren't even in the same room when Twilight said, "We're going to open up a school." She didn't even do a big, huge princess coronation type thing, saying, "Hey, I'm Twilight. I'm opening a school," and she only kept it to herself and maybe a small group of her friends. Mainly,
well, they had to have gotten the word out about it, and I'm pretty sure the Cutie Mark Crusaders at least saw some of the work. Even if we didn't see it, there had to be people who worked on building that. Oh my god, I would love to see a flashback to things going wrong when trying to build the school before it even got up, and we could see Big Daddy Macaw again.
Yeah,
maybe that's going to be the tune of the episode.
I mean, how can you not miss that huge school. Like, it's right beside her castle. Like, how can you miss it? It's like a big eyesore.
Let's go.
And don't they
Ow.
feel like-
Let's go.
And don't they still go to Twilight quite a bit? I mean, there's still like Twilight time. They still go to Twilight quite a bit.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure they
mentioned that
know
too.
about it.
Yeah.
Sisters
Sorry,
talking.
Ben.
I'll give it that. It's been kind of a tune for the show in recent years. I'll give it that. But here's the thing that but it didn't really irk me per se, but more annoyed than anything. I just felt like that the Kima Crusaders have forgotten their essentially what their true purpose is, just for the sake of something that's, I'll be honest, is kind of petty.
Well,
Okay,
you
what
guys,
was the main purpose of the Kima Crusaders and what are
Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, so what was the main purpose of the Kima Crusaders and what is the very thing they're the best at currently? Helping others. Especially helping others find what their Kima truly means, like what they did with Diamond TR. It just felt like, this whole mindset of, we're gonna go try to attend Twilight School because it's much more fun. I don't know, it just felt like not only did it come out of nowhere, I felt like it gone against what established the Kima Crusaders in the first place. At least in me.
well, yeah, I mean, I can understand where you're coming from then, but again, I think they just got their whole, they're still fillies and they're still excited, and maybe they just got ahead of themselves. Maybe, and maybe they did forget what the main purpose was. The commotion.
It's everything that was established before. It's just the motivation for this episode just felt like it came out of nowhere to the point where it doesn't become too believable for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not the biggest thing that downgraded this episode for me, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to that later. I believe it was Balto before me.
And this one's a little easier. So, my negative for this episode is how the Crusaders were ejected from the Friendship School. Because, here's the thing. Twilight is in charge of it, yes. But technically, she shouldn't be the one who's determining whether they're allowed in or not. Technically, the Crusaders' family should be the deciding factor, excluding Applejack and Rarity because they're teachers. So,
Rainbow Dash.
Really, especially Rainbow Dash. Because she's not technically related to Scootaloo, so really she should have no authority over that at all. But
yeah, we should leave that up to a lesbian aunt. I mean, what?
So really, with Apple Bloom, it should be up to maybe Big Mac and Granny Smith. With Sweetie Belle, maybe like her parents, who we haven't seen since season 1.
Season 2, actually.
With Scootaloo, but that's something I want to say, but I would rather not start a huge fiasco. So I'm just gonna leave it at they don't have authority to really reject the Crusaders like that. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Alright. David?
It was actually very hard for me to come up with a negative for this, but I did come up with one last minute. I think it was, again, going back to what Balto referred to just now, was it's kind of sad that Apple Bloom, Sweetie Belle, and Scootaloo had to do all that fake acting in the roadway when Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy were there.
Yeah, that was cringe really.
That was actually quite cringy because they had to resort to that, and I'm like, come on, Crusaders, you're better than that. And, that was really bad acting, especially when they cheered at the end and they're like, hey, yeah, we did it, and then, oops,
No, you didn't. You didn't accomplish anything.
You just blew it, you just blew your chance. and Pinkie Pie just saw right through you. You know.
The only thing I could
I'm
think.
not even entirely sure if Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy were all that convinced.
Especially the expressions on their faces. Like Fluttershy was just like, "Oh," and then Pinkie Pie was like, something's not right here."
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, the only thing that could make that scene even funnier is if Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy knew that this is all an act and they were just playing along.
Yeah.
I think that would.
I mean, it was.
I think that would
Yeah.
have been 5 times funnier.
It was a funny scene, but badly executed.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the acting had been a little bit more believable. Maybe it would have been a little bit of a better scene.
Especially when they first started out, like, "Look out!" And then they were like that close apart, like, "Ooh, I fell down. You made me do that." You know, like, how can you get worse than that?
Here, I'll show you how to make someone fall down. I thought coming down a hill.
I'd rather not be in the podcast, thank you.
I'll see what's up.
Sorry, Ben.
That's okay.
But that's my negative. How the Crusaders sunk so low just to try to attend to getting into the friendship school,
All right.
especially for the sisters.
All right. Looney, you're up.
And well, you know, nobody took my negative. Okay, Twilight, we need to have a brief talk. I understand you're only trying to do what's best for your friendship school, but why don't you want the Crusaders attending? Doesn't it seem counterintuitive for a friendship school, i.e. one that's supposed to be open to every creature, to reject 3 potential students?
Yeah.
Not even just a little hypocritical?
Well, that's what Apple Bloom stated too, didn't she?
Yeah, she did say that.
I mean, yeah. I know the Crusaders have matured quite a lot over the past 8 seasons, but they are still fillies. I would expect there's plenty more they can learn about friendship. Heck, even you Twilight still continue to learn about friendship on a regular basis, so...
Well, that raises something too,
Kinda
Looney.
bugs me how Twilight never gave them an explicit reason
Yeah.
why she kept rejecting them, other than they still go to cheerleading school.
Yeah, she's kind of just said, you have to learn about this in Shirley's class, but the thing that gets me,
Why not teach them on the side?
well, yeah, like via Twilight Time, But the thing that gets me, Looney, is that do we all know the age group of Twilight School? Like, is it a high school? Like, I mean, I know I'm going really in deep territory here, but is it a high school? Is it like is it a pre? I was about to say preschool. Yeah, it's preschool.
It seems more like a college than anything, because it seems to have a mix of like teenage characters and characters that we're used to seeing in the background. So
Yeah, it's kind of like a college, I guess.
But I do specifically remember Twilight said her friendship school was supposed to be open to every creature. I guess little fillies aren't included in that.
But thing threw me off too. How did Cozy Glow? Like, is Cozy Glow even a student, or is she?
Yeah. How did she get in?
Like, you don't even see her sitting in the seats.
Yeah, that is odd.
Unless she's a midget.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
And Endless
She does seem awfully mature for her age.
And Endless made up a good point, Looney. The reason why Twilight initially rejected the CMC is because she believes they already learned everything there is to know about friendship.
But Twilight still learns about friendship on a regular basis, so that argument doesn't really hold any water now, does it?
But didn't Twilight state that it takes a long time to learn about everything about friendship? Like, did the Crusaders learn everything already? Are they done?
Like I said, Twilight still learns about friendship, so she doesn't have much of a point here.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a weird situation. Like, if the Crusaders have already learned about, or are still learning, then shouldn't they attend if they,
If that was the case, I guess the show should have ended last season.
Yeah, it should have wrapped up last season if that was the case now, but...
well, in my opinion, should have wrapped up after the movie, but I digress. But yeah, I do agree with you, Looney, on that. In fact, that was another one of my negatives. I decided to let it off because I figured you had that. But yeah, she did. That's what Twilight stated. Does it make it valid? No. but I'm just saying what is actually said within the episode. And awkward silence.
Sorry,
that's pretty much all I have to
I
say.
was just reading what was just posted in the feelings.
Oh. Alright, so, we'll now move on to our rating of the episode. This is where we give an episode out of five stars. So, I'll go first just to give a refresher to you all. Alright, so the rating I give the episode, it was a tough call for me, but upon looking at just, say about 2.5 out of 5. Just meh. Like, okay, I do admit the episode did make me chuckle just a tad bit. I loved all the moments with Starlight Glimmer, and to its credit, the entire second act, up until where Cozy Glow failed intentionally, that was great. I enjoyed the entire second act when the Crusaders were helping out Cozy Glow, because I actually felt that was genuine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just constant pacing problems, characterizations going all over the place, and not to mention, at least to me, this episode for me was just plain boring. I really had a hard time getting my thought process on in this episode because I was so bored. But that's just my 2 cents. Looney?
I'll give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
The beginning of this episode was a little bit slow, like you said, because the conflict didn't really kick in until about the second act when we finally met Cozy Glow. Combined with Twilight being a little bit hypocritical, there's a few drawbacks to this episode. I do appreciate their introduction to Cozy Glow now that we've seen the finale, know what her true intentions are actually like, and yeah, Starlight scene was probably the best part of the episode, but it's meh.
David?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Looney and saying it was 3 out of 5 for me. Enjoyable moments, great, great. I can't say pacing, but great. What's the word I'm looking for?
You got me.
Great skills in how they executed some moments, but I guess too the highlight was how they gave that moment with Starlight and the counseling duties. And I think we got some good laughs when she was like, "Great, now I have to rearrange them backwards again." And then she like fell down and she's like, "Oh, I'm listening."
That's devious.
I'm listening.
And then she like I like how too. Sorry, I'm going on rambling, but I like too how she had everything set up and ready, like the security blanket, the cocoa, the the pillow. It was like she's really good at her job,
Starlight Glamour's best student counselor, 10 out of 10.
and I'm glad she has a role in the episode too, because I was like, because when she got shrugged off by Twilight, saying, "Oh, I got this, Starlight," I thought that was the last time we were going to see Starlight. I was like, "Oh, more Starlight." But yeah, that was my rating, 3 out of 5.
Alright, Balto?
I think I get the feeling where this is going.
Oh, hold on. Sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
I said I was gonna give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay. You want to expand upon it?
Like you said, it's kind of just boring.
Alright.
Nothing too special. Nothing completely dead. Just there.
And, Crimson?
I'm gonna have to jump on this bandwagon too. So, 3 out of 5.
Okay.
4 threes and 1 2.5. I get the feeling I know what the final rating is going to be. Obviously, it's going to be 5 out of 5.
You're too funny. Alright. But I still gotta put up my handy dandy calculator just in case.
Handy
Math
dandy,
correctly.
handy dandy notebook. Sorry.
Wait, when are they showing the Blues Clues?
Alright.
Now, after not doing a podcast in so long, will then math correctly?
Oh gosh.
Find out in the next exciting episode of Total Drama Bronimaniacs.
No, total drama peer pressure.
Alright.
Let Van work his magic.
Okay, got it right. Just have to double check real quick. So, the overall group rating for Marks for Effort is a 3 out of 5. What a shocker.
Wow,
Well then.
Totally didn't see
ironic.
that coming.
that was a kablooey.
Yeah, just a very below average episode, I should say.
It had its good moments, but it wasn't anything to be remembered.
Other than Koziko's introduction.
Yeah, it introduced us to one of the biggest plot twist villains in the entire series.
Yeah.
Hey,
And-
hang on a minute. I thought plot twist villains were Disney's job.
Oh, and can I say one thing too, guys?
Huh.
Yeah.
The Cutie Mark Crusaders are best ladder.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised none of us didn't mention about how they made themselves like a ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I see brooms, some dusters, and wait a minute. I think I'm looking through a closet.
Ironic that they'd be locked up in that very same closet in the series,
I
season
was
finale.
just thinking that too. When I just rewatched it, I was like, wait, isn't that the very same closet they get locked up into in the
I saw the
finale?
series finale.
Oh, that's quite a coincidence.
I was like, that's the same closet.
Coincidence? I think.
They must really, really, really like that closet.
Maybe because they like to sweep.
Oh
sweep.
god.
Oh
Oh,
gosh,
geez.
are we really bringing that back?
So before we end this off, am I allowed to say stuff about the season 9 teaser here?
Very, not too major, but go ahead.
Well,
Just say something that is not spoilery.
yeah, okay, so I'll just, you know what, Van, I'm just gonna say 2 words and you can tell me no. Tree of Harmony.
Okay, that's good enough.
No, I mean, like, am I okay to talk about that?
Actually, I best not talk about the teaser because I think it's gonna be hard for us to talk about it without giving out spoilers.
Alright, I won't say it.
Do I need to pull out the rarity, Jeff?
I see what you're doing there,
What do you
Looney.
got it on standby, Looney?
Oh jeez.
So I can pull it out if I have to.
And geez, this is what I get for going
Just
through
like
time
Starlock.
because of so many gifts.
Well, you are the
Also, yes, I say it, Jeff. Come at me.
Yeah, but all seriousness, please, thank you very much for checking out this, somewhat comeback of the Bronimaniacs Discuss. I apologize for the long break and a lot of stuff going on at the time, both personal and technical.
I think that goes for all of us.
And so again, thank you all for being so patient. But yes, we are back. And
It's great to be back.
And we will be doing this every Saturday night. We thought it was a nice compromise for the majority of us. But yeah, we will be continuing throughout season 8 until the beginning of season 9. And once season 9 starts, we will be tackling those. So, that being said, tune in next week where it could be quite a doozy. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna make one of us here read his tail off.
Yeah, I might want to mute your microphones
Do you want me to
and
mute
your
now?
headphones.
I can mute now because I think I
Because
know.
Baldo's going to be screaming.
I'm just gonna say this: wear headphone users.
But
Bang.
Wow, I didn't think we had a musical interlude. Okay.
and also,
Press F to pay respects.
listeners, tune in next week when we talk about the mean sex.
Oh, goody.
Oh, that'll be fun.
All of its mean face glory.
Glory.
I don't really have much preparing to do for that one. So even though I work another double shift next Saturday, I'll still be good for that. Assuming
I wish Endless was in the call right now because I would like Endless. Can you drop Balto with a huge stack of notes?
So if Balto doesn't show up to next week's podcast, you only hear is positive.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Anyways,
We should probably see ourselves out now.
We should wrap this up, guys. This has been great.
like I said, we'll all see you guys next week. Peace.
See you in the next timeline.
I give every pony a loop.
Remember, there'll be a test on this. Oh wait, what?
Oh fuck! I didn't study.
Either did I, and I'm the friendship. Wait, I own the school. What am I talking about?
May the flute be with you all.